I once had a whole day, week, year to ride and race my bike, and as a full-time professional cyclist, I loved it. But when you stop all that, you have a lot less time to ride. To begin with, I actually found this a bit of a relief. I didn't feel the pressure to suffer or log a certain distance. I could ride on my own terms, and, well, that was pretty cool. But, like many, I was now juggling a busy family life and a full-time job. And fitting bike rides in is tough, isn't it? I know, look, I'm very lucky to get to ride a lot here at GCN and on some pretty special bikes too. But heading out like I used to for some proper structured training or a solo ride to clear my head became much harder. The more I looked at things, the only time I actually had to ride my bike for myself without feeling like I was sacrificing time with my family was early in the morning. I'm talking 5 a.m. alarm clock, back in time for breakfast. Which sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, on paper, that's a 2-hour bike ride completed when I would have been sleeping. Genius. But there was one problem. I'm not very good at early starts. In fact, I don't really like them. I'd actively avoid them, given the choice. When I was a professional cyclist, I'd say my average time going for a ride was 10:30 because I could and I was trying to maximise my recovery. And it's quite hard to get out of that habit and to set your alarm so early. It's just not my strong point. I do remember, though, the first time that I set the alarm for silly o'clock. Kitting up, drinking a very strong coffee, bike lights on, extra layers warm, heading out the door for sunrise and thinking to myself, this is probably the first and last time that I get up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning on my own steam. What a stupid idea. But then something strange happened. I realised that I was out here with it all to myself. I could actually pedal my bike with some form of force, and I hadn't woken up the house by trampling through it at 5 a.m. in my Lycra. Although, to be fair, my better half may disagree with that one. Then the piece de resistance. The sun started to rise and I wasn't just out on my bike. I was enjoying one of the best sunrises I'd ever seen in my life. And that's when I realised it. I wasn't just out riding because of necessity, I was enjoying it. Even if I had all the time in the world, I'd do this again out of choice. But still, there was a voice in my head. After years of trying to maximise recovery, was sacrificing sleep really worth it? And would it be worth it if I continued to feel pretty naff getting up so early in the morning? I often subscribe to the concept that you're a morning or an evening person. Now, there is some truth to that. Hormonal and neurological processes influence your body clock or circadian rhythm, and that has an impact on your readiness or alertness to complete exercise at certain times of the day. What's interesting is that it's possible to change. This South African study found that marathon runners who initially didn't show a preference for early morning sessions did adapt over time when they consistently got up for early runs. They didn't catch up to their early riser counterparts, but they did improve performance-wise. Essentially then, getting up early sucks if you're not a morning person. But if you do commit and take the plunge and consistently start getting up earlier, then those bleary-eyed early mornings won't feel as bad down the line. Yet still, is the sleep sacrifice worth it? Well, I must admit, for me, when I am getting up early to ride my bike, I can't burn the candle at both ends. For me, that means going to sleep earlier. Now, it's thought that 7 hours or more per night is a good recommended amount for most adults, but everyone's different in this regard. Some people can get by on 6 hours, whereas others will need 9 hours or more. Personally, I've actually found that wearing a wearable sleep tracking device has helped me keep tabs on how much I'm sleeping for each night, and then link that up to how I'm feeling during the day, and seeing that written down on paper It's been quite reassuring to know that I can consistently set the alarm early and still feel okay. According to the National Institute of Health, in the USA, the average person does actually get less than 7 hours sleep every single night. So it can be hard to juggle everything and make it work, but I think we have to kind of look at our own schedules and find ways to make it happen if that's what we want to do. Personally, though, I find that when I do consistently set my alarm early, then I start to consistently go to bed much earlier in the evening. One thing that I'm definitely grateful for is that these early morning rides do just feel like a real joy, even when it's raining. And I do miss the freedom I had to be able to ride my bike all day, every day, but I just feel really lucky that I still enjoy riding my bike to the same extent that I did when I first started. And I feel lucky that I have that time of the day which I look forward to riding for riding's sake. I used to groan at setting my alarm at 5 a.m. But now, genuinely, setting the alarm and getting up to ride is one of the best parts of my day. I'm not sure how many of you all ride early, or maybe you've tried it and then vowed never again. But I hope this video has maybe inspired you to give it a go if you haven't. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, though. Always interested to hear your thoughts. Personally, I love setting the alarm clock early and getting out on my bike, and I am looking forward to more sunrise cruises this year. Simply the best.